Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to another episode of the Leeds United Career Mode series. Let's just jump into today's episode, because today is a big one. Today we play Wolverhampton in the feature game of the episode, but before we get to it, of course, we have to get to our highlights, and we play a pretty big team there as well. So two very, very big games here for you today. Before we get into anything too serious though, we'll take a look at the poll results. You guys, 64% of you guys actually voted Connor Chaplin as your man of the match. Can't argue with that. He was fantastic in the game. Obviously played through Ben Woodburn and was just pretty good leading the line in general. He has performed when he's had to step up to the plate. So Connor Chaplin gets the 2 votes. I gave my 1 vote to Pontus Jansson. No surprise there. Someone pointed out that he seems to be in every single vote, and you can't even argue with it because he is so consistently solid that yes, he is going to be in every single vote. So the way that changed the Billy Bremner award table, well, it didn't change the Billy Bremner award table. For like the 3rd episode in a row, it's the same. Calvin Phillips up top with 14 points. O'Kane and Lasogga in 2nd with 12 points, and Saiz all on his own with 9 points on the board. So like always, before we do get into today's featured game, let's have a look at our highlight game. Just one highlight game against Middlesbrough, and then we'll jump into the big one, away at Wolverhampton. It's going to be a very, very difficult test. Today's highlights are sponsored by Pablo's Pickles. I mean, you guys are coming up with some very, very good suggestions for these highlight sponsors. I mean, keep it going, but can you add a little catchphrase with it as well? Maybe it just rolls off the tongue a little bit better if you add a catchphrase as well. But Pablo's Pickles is sponsoring these highlights. So I should say highlight because we only play one game. It is at home to Middlesbrough because, of course, we do play 1st versus 2nd in the next match. And it just had to be the feature game of the episode. I couldn't have us versus Wolverhampton, not the feature game of the episode. But before we get to Wolverhampton, we do have to go through Middlesbrough, who start very, very lively here in the opening 20 minutes away from home, doing so well off the crossbar. I do not know, for the life of me, why our defender went behind Adama to try and win the header. I don't know in what code of football or in what league or country that makes any sense to get behind your player in this situation to win the header. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense, but Berardi thought it was the right thing to do. I didn't think it was the right thing to do, and I think I got proven right by the fact that Middlesbrough are now up 1-0 away to us. And Jansson here is trying to do something about it, and thank God for Pontus Jansson, because he is just our Swedish Goliath. It's simply that simple. That doesn't make any sense, but right here, look how he turned defense into attack, and yes, it doesn't turn out into a goal, but it was a foul into a free kick that could have turned into a goal. Pontus Jansson is integral to this team. It's that simple. He can do such good things. And speaking of good things, Pierre-Michel Lasogga, are you serious? He is on fire at the moment. He is loving the long shots. Coming off the back of 2 hat-tricks in the last episode, back-to-back hat-tricks. He's loving the long shots, and they are known to be OP in FIFA 18, and that is proof right there. That is fantastically drilled into the bottom left corner. Unsavable almost for the keeper, I would say. Maybe could have reacted a little bit earlier. It is Randolph, formerly of West Ham United, I believe. So Saiz now is trying to add to this lead, and we are feeling very confident, and hey, presto, what about another power shot? Forget the finesse button. We don't need that, okay? Saiz is starting to hit his stride again. He started the season very, very well. He slowed down pretty much all the way to a complete halt. He had stopped for a while, and I was actually questioning whether or not he should keep playing the cam position. I thought maybe we'd put Pablo Hernandez there and bring in another winger, but he has stepped up in the last couple of games, and he is now starting to perform, not just scoring goals, but he's just been in general much better. I'm very happy with his performances as of late, and that just there solidifies his spot at cam position. That's a great finish across goal. Forget the finesse button, guys. You don't need it this FIFA. As we go into the last couple of plays of the game, Vieira, this is what I want him to do. Control the midfield and create chances. And that is really what I want Vieira to do pretty much every single game. I'd love him to do that. A 1-2 with the other midfielder and then chipping it over to Lasogga. That is pretty much what he is there for. He is that creator. He is the link between the midfield and attack. Unfortunately, he is pretty inconsistent. And speaking of unfortunate things, yeah, my EA access was, that's it, gone, done. Fortunately, I have 2 accounts, and somehow I was able to trick the system, and therefore I was able to sign onto my main account, which had 3 hours left, and then go back onto this account and play the remainder of the episode. So fear not, I did get the player ratings, because without this working, I wouldn't have got the player ratings, and therefore we wouldn't have been able to pick our players of the match. Saiz was the man of the match. He picked up 3 votes, as I said, but putting in great performances. I couldn't overlook Lasogga for the 2 points with the 2 goals, and then Calvin Phillips picks up the 1. I could have given it to a lot of different players. You could see so many players above 9 ratings. The whole team played very, very well, but I had to give it to Calvin Phillips. I also do want to say, from now on, there will be much more highlight games, so keep leaving your sponsors for the highlights as we try and get through this championship season a little bit quicker. The last 2 episodes have been a bit slow, but that's just due to certain circumstances, and now the full game is released, so we have unlimited time. So I'm looking to do much more highlights and much more featured games as well. So, without further ado, it's the big one. It's Wolverhampton. It's first versus second. Let's not waste any more time. Right, off of that fantastic comeback win against Middlesbrough, this is the lineup that we've picked. Now, usually you don't want to change a winning lineup, but unfortunately due to stamina reasons, I wasn't given too much of a shot, a chance to use the same team. Woodburn comes in, Borthwick, Jackson, and O'Kane as well, to name a few that have replaced players. So, it is a different looking lineup. Hopefully it doesn't affect us too much. We are carrying a lot of confidence, but this is first versus second, so we've got to really step it up here and show why we deserve to be in the top 2. Saiz, that's a nice run by Woodburn. Coming to the left wing position again, trying to prove himself. He does have options. Unfortunately, there were just too many, I think. And it just couldn't lock onto one option. Good work by Anita. Retrieves the ball, plays it through to Saiz. He's got Lasogga ahead of him, who's feeling the long shots today. But he does have the run of Woodburn. Always seems to be bombing down that wing, ready to go. Unfortunately, it just doesn't land for him there. Anita, nice give and go with Alioski there. Good 1-2, and Anita is now through. If Lasogga can make this run into the box, he's not looking for a run into the box at all. He's looking for outside the box. Maybe he wanted to do something extra special. A force to Phillips. We know how much he loves a long shot, and he puts it wide. We look lively. Definitely looking lively, and I think we have a goal in us in this first half. 15 minutes left. Let's try and pull one. Oh, no. Bonatini. Good tackle in, he's gone near post, and out of nowhere, against the run of play, Wolverhampton have scored, and for some reason they want me to do a quick substitution in the 33rd minute. Where did that come from? This was just out of nowhere. Space on the right-hand side for Wolves. Terrible, terrible defending from Cooper. I mean, that was... He didn't even show an interest in defending that player at all, and then beaten at the near post, Vidvald. I think that's the first time he's been beaten at the near post. Pontus Jansson, even though he's 6'5", just wasn't tall enough to get his limb in the way. And out of nowhere, Wolverhampton have just rattled us, and they're up 1-0. Saiz to Lasogga on the death here. Saiz. Oh, what a save! I was so concentrated on making sure that shot was correct. I was going to say on the stroke of halftime, not on the death, is what I was trying to say. And what a save from the goalkeeper that is! But great play between Lasogga and Saiz. And maybe just a little bit of hope, maybe a little bit of a fight back here right before the first half ends. Nice work by Anita, good awareness by him, and he gets past the left back, or at least the left wing back. They are playing a back 3 system. Anita's going to try and go all the way here, maybe create some space for Lasogga, or he's literally going to go all the way, and on his left foot, Anita was trying to go for potentially another candidate for goal of the season, not in the same level of technique, but just the run from Anita there was inspiring. Good work, Borthwick Jackson. Great tackling. He's been very, very good when called upon. Sacco now surely has the pace and the stamina to get away here. He does. We have 2 strikers on now with Chaplin coming on for Saiz. Maybe Sacco doesn't even need them. He's going to go all the way. And what a tackle. Oh, I thought the penalty was on, but that was a picture-perfect tackle from the Wolverhampton defender. Alright, I see Pontus Jansson again. He's always getting into fights in the penalty box, Pontus. That is a long-range header that was never going to work out, but when you have Pontus Jansson in the box, yeah, you just have to go for him, don't you? He's 6'5". You cannot miss him. Oh no, there's a hole there. Pontus Jansson stepped up and Bonatini makes it 2. And Wolverhampton, it feels like with 2 shots on target, they've scored 2 goals. That's how it feels. I don't know if the statistics actually say that or not, but that is exactly how it feels right now. Pontus Jansson, I stepped up with him, wrong decision. Borthwick Jackson trying to cover the centre-back position. Forget Cooper. He's not even watching. He's not even playing the game. He's off having a freaking coffee with someone in the crowd. Forget Cooper. He wasn't even there. Borthwick Jackson was trying to cover his centre-back, and they make it 2-0. That's it. Game over. We've lost to Wolverhampton. This was a really big test for us, but they've just been more clinical. It is that simple. Sacco now. Go on, Lasogga. Get in there. There we go. Oh my god. I thought that was in. I thought Lasogga had that header for sure. Maybe could have made it interesting going into the dying embers of the game, but just pushes that one out wide. That is very close, but I think Lasogga probably should have scored that. I think he'd be disappointed with that effort. There it is, full-time away at Wolverhampton, and a 2-0 loss. Extremely disappointed. I thought our performance definitely warranted more than a 2-0 loss. There are the statistics for you guys. I said it during the game that I thought it felt like they had 2 shots on target and scored 2 goals. There it is, 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. I mean, that is the definition of a champion right there, is picking up a result like that when they were pretty terrible. I thought we played much better than Wolverhampton. They just had moments. They had 2 moments where they were cutthroat, and they absolutely dominated us in those 2 moments. And we didn't take our chances. And that was the difference between us. That's the difference between first and second right now, is these statistics. Difficult to pick a man of the match in this game, so O'Kane is EA's man of the match. He picks up 3 points, and once again, O'Kane, when he plays, is picking up massive points. He hasn't even played that many games. He's just picking up massive points when he plays. He's always getting 3 or 2 points, it seems. He's got 3 here today. The 2 points is, of course, up to you guys. There are a couple candidates there over a 7 match rating. No one scored a goal, so maybe you want to look at the defensive end of things, but the defense let in 2 goals. So, yeah, I don't know who you guys are going to go with. It's a tough decision. Fun fact for you guys, going into that game away at Wolves, we were actually first, tied on points, but with a better goal difference. But, of course, Wolves, with that win, have now taken back that first spot. And now we're just 2 points ahead of Sunderland, who have made a very, very good run, who's sitting 3rd at the moment, and making a gap between themselves and 4th place Reading and 5th place QPR, 5-point gap between them, and Sunderland's making this top 2 now a top 3, which worries me a lot because I don't think we'll come first. So if we're not going to come first, we'll be battling it out for second with another team, and if it's Sunderland, I don't see them letting up. I think their team is at least good in FIFA to where they can challenge for that second place. So I'm very, very nervous. Birmingham City rounds off the top 6, but they are tied on points with Sheffield Wednesday and Derby County. Teams that are still fighting for that top 6 position include Middlesbrough, who we beat today, Norwich, Brentford, Fulham, Ipswich, and Bristol City, all within 4 points of the top 6. So all still candidates, I would say, for making this top 6. And last but not least, the new looking Billy Bremner Award table, with Phillips and O'Kane now tied on 15 points after today's episode. Pierre-Michel Lasogga on his own in second now with 14 points, and Saiz on 12. The same 4 players that have been here, but it's changing a little bit. Of course, this is subject to change with your guys' votes. O'Kane picked up 3 votes here today. It could change with your vote depending who's in the poll. And of course, the 1 point is still available as well, which could also add a little bit of spice into this table. But these 4 players seem to be now maybe slightly pulling away. We'll let you guys know that the next player is Pontus Jansson on 8 points. So there's a bit of a gap between Saiz and Jansson at the moment. So it could be these 4 players battling it out for it. Who do you guys think is going to win? Let me know in the comments below, actually. You guys do vote on who gets the 2 points, but who do you think is going to win out of these 4 at the moment? But that is it, guys. That is the end of today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, definitely do leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new around here. But that is it. I'm out of here, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's episode. Hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.